this cunt comes in, right? She got a quote from us in 2018.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, your quote says it's only $4 a square foot. Ma'am, that was
it's just
from
like, no, supplying... Yeah, that's from
it's not
years
even,
ago.
It's not even that. It's, ma'am, that quote's from 2018. We don't have to honor shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, price go up. That's, like, basic understanding of things.
Well, she was complaining because now it's $6.29 per square foot.
Yeah.
Look, if I could, I'd buy wood from you.
Yeah, but it's flooring.
Sounds kind of gay, but okay.
Yeah, haha.
Do you have any sheep?
Alright, so...
sheep for wood?
How murder hobo do you want to get? Because this guy's got a lot of skill books that'd be really useful for us.
Not as murder hobo as you were with Sneaky.
So, just a heads up, I'm banning you both if you
literally
talk about
just...
Divinity.
Gotcha. Literally... What did I just say?
I saved. Calm down.
Fucking...
Anyway. But yes, wood no longer go up. Steel, it's not bad to invest in steel, because that's predicted to continue to fucking rise 2% a week.
It's not only
for
that...
the next... Until quarter 3.
It's not only that, is because I gave her my logic, and it's pretty sound logic, is wood, oil, steel, gold, and silver are going to have universal value outside of the US dollar.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And trying to play the currency game of transferring currency into other values and shit is just...
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it goes all over my fucking head, and you can like, because the euro, you don't know how dependent the euro is on anything, because the euro's value is compared to oil's value and the dollar's value.
The euro's value is dependent on whatever the fuck Bristol is doing.
Right, exactly, and if the entire
in
fucking
other words, nobody fucking
economy,
knows.
yeah, if the global economy collapses because the USA decides to have another Black Monday, and we descend into World War III again, well, the euro probably ain't gonna be worth much fucking long.
Yeah.
I don't really see the point of, like, just like, oh, hey, let me just exchange this for another thing.
Well, and here's the problem.
Yeah.
Exchanging currencies is a terrible idea when your currency is down.
Right, that's it.
Exactly.
Like, there's a super complicated way to make money on currency by taking your currency that's worth more, sending it to a currency that's worth less.
Yep. And then waiting for it to, like, rebound and shit. Like, not only that, though, but there is so many laws surrounding currency exchange, and, like, you
so
literally...
many fees, so much arbitrage.
You literally have to work with money in the millions to make profit off of that.
Yep, pretty much.
But, yeah, so enough about that, and I'm going to complain about one more thing before we start tonight. So, you all are aware of the game called Phoenix Point, the XCOM spiritual successor.
Yes.
Acutely aware.
The one that fucked a bunch of people over for no reason.
Yep, and then they came back and said, hey guys, sorry about that, here's the game for free on both Steam and GOG. So, they have had a problem for the past year. And that problem was that cutscenes would not play. Because they fucked up the codec for the cutscenes in the game.
I see.
Amazing.
So you could watch the cutscenes outside of the game, but if you tried watching them in the game, it wouldn't play, and you just get a black screen. The problem is this is a black screen, and unless you hit the escape key, which is the only key that works while you're in this black screen, you wouldn't know, because it never leaves the black screen, because it's waiting for the video to end, but the video never started.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
So you would think your game has hung unless you hit escape. And now I got back into Phoenix Point recently because they released the new big update. And now before this big update that occurred, I didn't have this issue. But they rolled...
And now you have this issue.
And now I had this issue with this big update. And they have known the fix for the past year, by the way, because, of course, the community already figured out how to fix the problem. About like 2 days into reporting it. But they never deployed that fix because it wasn't game breaking. Even though if you go onto Google and type in Phoenix Point black screen, you will see hundreds of posts about people asking for refunds because they got this bug. So they've actively
they think
lost.
their game's broken.
Yeah, because they've actively lost thousands of dollars over this, and they could have fixed it a year ago. So anyway, what I'm mad about is that I go on and I look up this shit, and they finally released a fix for Steam and Epic only. I have
Why
it on
not for GOG?
Because fuck you. I don't
know.
I'm going
understand
to go ahead and hazard a guess is that they don't like GOG.
No,
I don't know. I just get that impression.
No, it's so basically their explanation as to why it's not on GOG is because they have to send it to GOG and GOG packages it for them. No, other way around. So for Steam and Epic, they basically send the update to the company, and the company packages the update for them and then sends it out to the players. With GOG, the company has to package the update and then send it to GOG, which then GOG will distribute. But they're too fucking lazy to package their own fucking updates, so that's why it's delayed.
Amazing.
How hard is it to fucking throw your patch in a zip file?
Difficult.
Very hard.
Apparently.
So, anyway. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Fanfiction Contempt 9004, episode 40-something or other. Goddamn.
47, apparently.
47.
According to the stream title, at least.
Yeah, that's correct. I just changed it, so it must be correct.
Indeed. Well. Yeah.
Fuck you. So, we're gonna get into some fun stuff tonight, because you know what I was doing last night?
No, what were you doing last night?
Not fucking writing is what I was doing. You know what I was doing instead of writing? I was reading.
Oh, Lord.
And then I
never a good
ran
idea.
out of things to read. So,
Oh, no.
I looked
Oh,
for
no.
more things to read.
And
Oh,
why
God.
couldn't you read some of the things I've sent you?
Because I was on my tablet and was too fucking lazy to go look for them.
Oh, God.
Checks out.
God damn it. God
I
damn
know
it,
exactly
Sneaky.
where this is going.
So, we have some new fix tonight.
Oh, God. I see one name I recognize just right off the bat.
Oh, no.
Limpieza de Sangre.
No,
Oh, God.
you see, actually, I have a reading list I'm going to be using now because this reading
no.
list. So,
Oh, God, no.
I figured
Oh, no.
out that the reading list is actually better for me personally to use between devices in terms of
that's fair.
transferring tabs because, let's say transferring bookmarks. Because my whole bookmarks situation is because I have so many bookmarks, approximately 3,000 bookmarks, if anyone is wondering. Because I have so many.
Why, though?
Fallout 4 mods, Skyrim mods, other mods, about over 1,200 covered fix and about 800 uncovered fix.
If you're talking about Nexus, can't you just, like, create categories for them on Nexus?
Yes, but
Where is
Nexus has a habit of like getting rid of them, and I much rather just
Okay, yes, that in fact does make sense.
yeah, and I much rather honestly just save them as a physical bookmark because I'm old fashioned like that.
Understandable.
Yeah. What are the best U.S. states for real estate right now? Besides South Dakota, North Dakota. No, North Dakota is actually half the price of South Dakota. Most of the Midwest states, in actuality, what are considered flyover states, are pretty good for real estate right now in the U.S. because they're considered flyover states by all the stupid rich people. And so because these stupid fucking retarded liberals from the city don't consider those states worth any value to buy property in, they don't. Yeah, shocker that one.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, anyway, Gray is going to die tonight.
Oh fuck. Oh no. What's he done to deserve this?
Because I have found Can Cole stories.
Oh no.
And they are cringe.
We live in a society.
Well, I mean, it's canned cold. It's
Yeah.
And if we can get, wait, mark as red. Okay, so if I click this button. Okay, excellent. So, and if we can get Stannis on, I have a really, really cringy Harry Potter, sorry, Overlord Game of Thrones crossover.
Wait, Overlord anime or Overlord game?
Anime.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, speaking of which, actually, I have recently, in my search, I found one story that was actually good. It's called Devil Overlord. It's a DxD Overlord crossover where Issei gets yeeted out of existence. Period.
Oh.
And Momonga gets to replace him.
Among Us.
Yes, Among Us. Literally, because he's still in Issei's body, which is now an undead construct because Issei died.
What?
What? I don't know what's so confusing here.
Sure, whatever. This is dumb. Let's keep going.
Anyway, my point being is that the author actually wrote a very true to Overlord style of comedy of errors of both competence and incompetence on both sides. Where, Momonga does something and him thinking he's going to do one thing one way, does the thing, and then everyone else around him interprets in a completely logically but incorrect way that ends up benefiting him anyway in a circuitous route.
Amazing.
So the author is very on point with how Overlord's pathing goes effectively. So I like that for that. The humor is okay. The characters exist. I mean, they're not poorly written. But they're DxD characters, so their existence already is kind of low par, Not great. So, I'm not actually going to read this story. I just wanted you all to look at this, specifically the start of this, and just cringe internally with me.
Can I cringe externally as well?
You are free to also externally cringe if you feel the desire to do so.
Can I cringe in the form of consuming more alcohol?
Yes, go for it.
That is always a vibe.
This is a free cringe zone, so you can freely cringe in any way you desire that does not lead back to me being arrested.
Damn it.
Or kicked off Twitch.
Mostly arrested.
After all, boys.
So this is a story called Of Tugs and Warships. So not only are they trying to be referencing Of Mice and Men, Rip Gray. Indeed. So not only are they trying to reference Of Mice and Men, they're doing it poorly. Because this story isn't about. This is not about men at all. This is not about humanity. There's no philosophical discussions going on here. So let's just get into it. Please don't hate me if the characters are a bit out of their usual self. The Naval District is very big place with many different kind of ship. But while we mostly concentrate on the destroyers and other kind of warship, we forget background workers, the tugs. Now we will see how one tug grew beyond being a harbor tug and how he became a real fighter. So there's already a lot going on here that I absolutely loathe. And while I realize that Can Cole is more or less in the same realm of fan work that Toho, exists in, and where there's no real concentrated canon beyond the fact that ship girls exist, abyss girls exist, they fight each other a bunch, and lots of eldritch horror shit. I hate this because A, we have male ship boys, I guess. So that I already hate that. B, for some reason, they're tugboats that have turned into ships, even though the whole thing is that they're warships. That, you know, tugboats wouldn't really be involved. It's like, you know, it's like having a story about tanks coming back to life as anthropomorphized, you know, characters. And then you're just like, hey guys, I want to tell my story about my, what's that fucking electric car's name? The really shitty one that came before Tesla. It was a really compact piece of shit that like basically crumpled if the wind blew too hard.
No idea. Well, I probably do, but I don't
Prius,
remember.
Yes! Thank you.
Oh.
Prius. Well, yeah, it's like it's like you're in a story where they're talking about fucking, you know, M1 Abrams and the Lee and the Stewart and shit. And then there's like someone's just like, hey guys, this is my story about my Prius coming back to life as a ship, as a car guy. It's like,
yes, my Prius goes to fucking Syria to fight in the desert.
Yeah.
With all the tanks and shit.
Yeah, and it's just
bro,
like,
at least make it a fucking Toyota. Come on.
It's so fucking out there where it's not. I can get a lot of stories, okay? I can get stories where it's like, okay, so it's Cancel, alright, so ship girls, okay? You know, fucking modern ships come back even though they're really not supposed to come back because yada yada stuff sinking has to sink first and yada yada whatever.
True.
But you know, say modern ships that aren't really sunk yet for some reason turn into ship girls. Fine. At least they're still ships, at least they're warships, at least they're still in the flavor of Cancel. But it's like, this has nothing to do with warships. It's a fucking tug. You know, it's just, why? And now, of course, you might be saying, Sneaky, you're being too harsh on them. Well, no. They wrote 140k words. They wrote 140k.
You're not being harsh enough.
They completed this story. This is a completed 140k word story that took place over the course of 3 years and 17 chapters. So they had plenty of update time. They had plenty of page space because the Cancel section ain't big. And they only amassed 14 favorites. So I am not the only one who thinks this story idea is garbage and doesn't belong in the Cancel section.
Yeah.
I see.
No shit.
So anyway,
I feel like anyone with 5 brain cells could have told you that this story is garbage.
Yeah, but the average Cancel reader only has 4.
True.
Sneaky, come on now.
Hey, that's one more
They've
than
got
Goku.
at least 5. They have to be able to open a web browser to find the shitty fan fiction.
only
You'd
need,
be
like,
surprised
3
how
for that,
easily.
maybe.
Yeah, it's like 1 brain cell.
Yeah.
Greetings, reader! Before you start reading this fanfiction, I would like to give you a character biography of the characters that will appear in this story.
I will introduce my stomach to some more alcohol.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get drunk.
Cheers, bro. I'll drink to that.
That should be enough.
Well, is it ever, really?
Now it is.
Fair enough.
Nice.
And Sneaky's alcohol intake grew 3 sizes that day.
Quite so.
Indeed.
I will only cover characters that aren't canon to CanCole, seeing as it would be rather pointless to tell everyone about a character they should already know. Alright.
We found it! We found the big
Alright.
brain author.
Alright, you know what? Fair enough. Alright,
While
fine,
that's
author.
true, yes.
I will give you 1 point. I don't really see the need to give you a complete character biography of any of the Fleet Girls, as if you were curious, you can just look them up in the wiki page. Fair enough. Yes.
Yeah, that is true. People are capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. Name. Comet. Occupation. A railway tugboat. What the fuck is a railway tugboat? Alright, Google.
I have several questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Santa Fe Railroad tugboats. The Santa Fe Railroad barged rail cars across the San Francisco Bay for much of the 20th century. As there was no
the rail
direct
car ferry.
rail link, yeah, with 3 tugs, the Paul Hastings, the Edward J., and the John R. Hayden. And the tugs have been sold, the Hastings sunk, in water too deep to raise, the Angle sunk, and it's suspected the Hayden remains afloat in service in Oregon still. Okay. So let's get a picture of these. This is what a railway tug looks like.
Apparently.
Good to know.
Not really sure how they're supposed to tug a railway with that.
Or why it's coming back to life
Well, I
as
mean,
a ship boy.
Yeah, it's for the rail cars, I believe.
Which, by the
Wait,
way,
hang on,
that
here's-
is,
what,
for
no?
multiple reasons,
Hang
one
on.
of the dumbest things possible.
Kind of my point is I'm trying to figure out how exactly this is tugging the rails.
Well, not the rails, but the rail cars.
Yes, okay, but where does the rail car go, my dude?
I'm trying to figure that out as well.
Yeah, that's my point. So I'm thinking it's like some sort of floaty they got going on here. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, they got some sort of floaty that the car drives into, and then they push off into the sea, and then the railway tug tugs it to the other rail, which they then pull up, and then unload that is the dumbest way I've ever heard of trans. Okay, you know what? Fine.
Yeah.
It
Well, I
worked.
mean, it worked, and
Yeah,
they used
yeah.
it in like the 1800s,
Yeah,
1900s.
yeah.
So
Fucking
fair enough.
coal-powered tugboats. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what this thing is. Age. Looks like a teenager. He would not look like a teenager. So that's another thing. Second off here, this is clearly an author self-insert going on here, because it wouldn't look... We got...
Obviously.
Even in CanCole, the older ships look like older women. So if we're talking about a fucking steam base, like, this isn't even like a diesel tugboat. We're talking straight shit. Coal-fired tugboat would not look 16.
To be fair, he didn't specify the model of tugboat.
Is there
So
diesel tugboats?
Yes.
Okay,
They
alright,
exist.
fair enough.
There are more modern versions. However, well, wait, built to read Invincible. Hang on, he actually specified.
It's also a tugboat. Yes, we're all aware that's a fucking tugboat. Yeah. That's the other thing is there's no real big emotion involved in a tugboat. It's like, the tugboat sank because the water got too high and
Okay,
it flooded.
so I have found one railroad. Well,
The
it's not a
tugboat wasn't
it's not a
betrayed and
rail.
used for a fucking nuke test.
it's an
Right.
articulated tugboat, built in 1979.
Yeah, okay.
Called Invincible, which this thing is apparently built to specifications of.
Pedro, the older women are
however-
battleships because battleships are probably one of the oldest warships we have.
Yeah, and also the ones that are most expensive to replace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's based on this Invincible though, because the history part really makes no fucking sense here. I think it's just on crack.
Right, so basically the
So,
author is trying to desperately look for justification to somehow make
Yeah.
it a tug boy.
Yeah. Like, I get the appeal of a like underdog story, I guess, but at the same time, at least make them like somewhat
The
reasonable.
Siege of Big City by the IJN. I'm sorry, hold on.
Yeah,
it's
that's
real.
not a real fucking thing.
There's no way that
Then
fucking happened.
Not a chance in hell.
At
Not a
all.
chance in hell,
Not
man.
at all. No, it doesn't even exist. Okay, so not only is this
Wait. Big
completely
City is
fucking-
apparently it's a store in Houston, Texas.
Hold
Wait.
on.
Hang on.
Wait a second. Hold
Oh.
on.
Oh, I think we found it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
Did I come back to?
Oh my god.
Pain!
Wait. Let me search. Hang on.
So is this
No,
a wiki for tugboats or a wiki for a series about tugboats?
It's a wiki for a series, which also has a board game.
Tugs is a child television drama series. The show only produced 13 episodes by the creators of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh no.
The series was noted for its high
Wait.
production quality and storytelling, where it used live-action models. Since the 2000s, it has developed a cult following. Oh,
Yeah, no shit.
my
I
God.
think we hit
We
a rabbit
found the
hole here.
cult. It's one guy. It's this guy. He's the
Yeah.
cult.
Exactly.
Hang on a second.
Tugs is about two rival anthropomorphic tugboat fleets. We have found it, ladies and gentlemen. We have found the reason why this guy is trying to justify this. He is trying to write a crossover between Cole and Tugs, and he fucking thought we wouldn't notice.
Wait, let me actually check. Is Tugs actually a category on...
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I have to see.
And the deceitful Z-Stacks managed by Captain Zero.
Wait, oh, it is. It's a fucking category. It is actually a thing. There
Oh
you
my
go.
god, this is not even being subtle. Captain Zero is a devious and scheming owner of the Z-Stacks. So, reference to Germany, reference to Japan. He is known to be a criminal with connections to Johnny Cuba. And there we fucking go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Old American TV.
Johnny Cuba.
Johnny Cuba.
Oh lord.
Johnny Cuba.
So apparently there are two crossovers between Tugs and My Little Pony. One with
Okay.
Pokemon,
Why?
one with Transformers, 9 with Thomas the Tank Engine, and 2 for some other things I don't know.
I am not drunk enough to handle this information.
Oh, okay.
Cheers, bro. I'll drink to that.
Where was this? This was produced in Britain.
This was produced in Britain. Yes.
This is British children's TV,
What's
and apparently
British?
Johnny Cuba has an Australian accent. Apparently.
Wow.
Crikey,
They're just
Mike.
fucking throwing everyone under the bus. Okay.
He is described as a notorious and violent steam freighter of criminal
My
intents.
favorite here is the Starfleet or Star Tugs are the virtuous and courageous tugboats and are the main rivals to the Z-Stacks.
Oh lord. Wait, a tug named Boomer. Oh no.
Oh no!
What?
Oh lord.
It
Well,
was a tugboat that was converted into a houseboat following a series of bad luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. No, so, like, here's the thing: is what's little known about tug-based anything. They're actually ridiculously expensive compared to what their size is to
Yeah.
maintain.
Yep.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. God, I hate this. I hate that we figured
Yeah.
this out.
Same. Though I will say, I looked through, and this is still an original character based on an original tugboat design, I suppose.
Yeah, okay. It still doesn't make it
So
better.
it makes it worse. I'm just saying, like, even
Yeah.
with the baseline of tugs as a crossover, he still had to make his own fucking thing.
Yeah, even with the most obscure fucking television show to come out of Britain, he still had to make his own original self-insert. Okay. Wait. Wait, what is this lore? After the decline of the port in Big City. The decline of the port. I don't know how he fucking managed that one, but okay. He was sold to
Yeah.
Captain Walters, who, along with, like, look, don't get me wrong, I understand how ports can decline, but, like, New Jersey is still one of the biggest shipping states in the country for its size.
Yeah.
Like, and same for Boston. They have a massive shipping industry still. Like,
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
we
mean, like,
do.
historically, I know of a few examples where ports have declined. For example, the trade ports of Italy once
Right.
colonialism really, went big up.
right. But the
But
thing is that
in modern day history,
yeah, the thing is that both modern day history and the U.S. is like
Yeah.
So the Pirates Bay up in Massachusetts obviously declined because both better technology, the ships got
Yeah.
bigger. Law crackdowns could now occur. So there's a lot of things that could contribute to a port
Yeah.
declining. But in the modern day, I really don't see that occurring anymore, especially in
Yeah.
the U.S. when we're a fucking nation of
Exactly.
imports.
yeah, like the most recent examples I can think of are like, well, South America when the Panama Canal was finished, and Africa
Right.
when the Suez Canal was finished. Other than that, like, there's pretty much no example I can actually think of.
Yeah. So yeah, just randomly the city rebuilt and then just randomly declined. So he was sold to Japan. Somehow. Yeah, a tugboat crossed blue water somehow. And
Yeah.
got to Japan for some reason.
Of course.
Of course, obviously before abyssals were a thing. So this is the other issue with the whole can call thing is ship girls didn't start appearing until the abyssals started appearing. And so an entire city filled with human boats before the abyssals were even a thing would be a little bit lore breaking. And by a little bit I mean entirely ignores the lore.
Yeah.
So so basically a bunch of garbage about how he's amazing and awesome and really hardworking, and then a description of his clothing, and then a long list of relatives. Yeah, so and then we get we get into more original characters who are apparently 12-year-old boys. So that's,
Oh no.
that's a little bit weird. Gonna be real with
Yikes.
you, author.
Yikes.
Leviathan
Yes,
is the enemy of ship girls. You know what? That'd be kind of an interesting story to see, but not really. Because Leviathan's just broken.
Yeah.
John Bull looks like a 38-year-old man for no apparent reason. Built in Scotland, he was randomly in Scapaflow. He got sunk by a German submarine. Okay, fair enough. Reincarnated into a living tugboat. Went back to his own port.
Wait, no. That actually doesn't make any sense either. Because, torpedoes, they are way below the waterline compared to the tug.
Yeah, wait, would torpedoes even work in brown water?
Yeah, they would, just really inefficiently. And, they're just too deep in the water to actually hit the tugboat.
What's the point of even shooting a torpedo at a tugboat? It's a fucking tugboat.
Civilian casualties, I guess.
Yeah, I guess if you just really hate Scottish people.
True, based. Well, I mean, maybe they used the deck gun, but even then, in fucking port...
Well, no, I said torpedoes.
No, it is sunk by...
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah, fair enough, yeah.
even then, no German submarine would surface and use their fucking deck gun in a fucking British port. They'd be murdered immediately.
Just float up, fuck that tugboat, blam, blam.
Yeah, they would float up and then have to get out of the boat, onto the deck, and then shoot the tugboat and then get back into the fucking submarine and then sink.
Thorns brings up a very good point. What if the captain of the tugboat was really asking for it? You know what? That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
He has a point. Yeah, that's kind of true.
What if he gets spray painted on the side of the tugboat? Fuck Germans, and the Germans were like, "Hey, sink that Schweinhund."
Jawohl, mein Führer.
Jawohl, Jans.
Jawohl, Kapitän. Wir müssen der tugboat sinken.
How would you address a noble ship girl? Well, it depends between Can Cole and Azure Lane and Arpeggio Blue Steel.
He's just making a pun, Sneaky.
You're late. Yeah, and I know. I know.
Fair enough, Thorns. Fair enough.
This side of the boat says Hitler prefers dubs.
You make a convincing argument.
No, indeed. Okay, let's keep going through this. This is so cringe. Oh my god.
German dubs must be some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, they're
German dubs are always crazy.
Wait, so this is a coal tugboat. So after the war, he was replaced by a diesel tugboat and sold to Japan. Why is everyone selling tugboats to Japan?
Japan has a lot of tugging to do.
Yeah. And he also apparently prevented the sinking of a fucking battleship. Which,
That's useful.
I mean, how?
Yeah, that too. Also, this is actually kind of a little bit racist. Hailing from Scotland, Bull blames this on his Scottish accent and short temper.
True.
I can't help it. I'm Scottish. I just, scream easily.
Yeah, excuse me, but the Scots do be like that sometimes.
Okay, I know. Look, I know. They have this whole tradition of stabbing people you dislike too. So it's whatever.
It be like that sometimes.
Having witnessed a child being crushed by a tree in Scotland, Bull gained a respect for logging operations. Wait.
Mm.
Oh my god.
I don't think that's what it means.
I don't think this author's all there. I'm gonna be honest.
Clearly.
Oh, that tree fucked that kid up. You loggers, mission passed.
Mission accomplished. Reminds me of that fucking Metal Gear Solid meme. Boss, you killed those children. Well done, boss. Excellent. That's what we love to see.
Fitting to his job, he is rather strong, which resulted in tearing of many shorts.
How
Is
Um,
he got the powers of Lou Ferrigno's the Hulk?
Yes, indeed. Apparently, he's a tug
Like-
man. My audio is
All
dying.
right, I've decided if we continue to chapter
Yeah.
2 for this, whenever he comes on, I'm just gonna
No,
pretend
I'm-
he's Lou Ferrigno from the Hulk.
I'm not reading chapter 2 of
Amazing.
this.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Okay, first off, I don't know what a ship girl is to begin with, but this is a wild ride. All right, so it's really easy. So a ship girl is a ship girl. So basically, imagine a ship, but now they're a girlfriend. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if I type in ship girl
Ship
here,
gets waifu'd.
as you can see, very cute, much love, very easy.
Indeed.
But why? Because
Japan.
boobs.
Yeah.
And Japan.
And
Yeah.
Japan, yeah, and Japan.
Mostly
Japan took
boobs.
an admittedly really cool idea of what it. Granted, this probably comes to their culture of items can eventually gain souls of their own, but in order to sell it, they waifuized it. So
Yeah.
those souls reincarnate, and then they turn them into cute girls. It sold well, to be fair.
Actually, Underplayed Creations, there's a funny story about, I actually have that for you. So, I was reading a Ship Girl fanfic on space battles, and they brought up a very good point, is that post-World War II, the U.S. had a habit of giving out ships that were no longer going to be used in the service of the U.S. Navy to other countries.
Yep.
We did this with a lot of African countries, and we did this with Vietnam as well. And so basically, if they were ship girlified, these ships would look like a quote-unquote American ship. So, white, big, busty girl with blonde hair and star eyes, because apparently that's a fucking thing.
America, fuck yeah.
America, fuck yeah. But they would speak basically, perfect Somali. or Vietnamese.
Nice, that cursed.
would see that going over so well with today's current audience.
Oh, and they might have their uniform shifted around a bit, so Vietnamese ship girls, yeah.
Wait. The Vietnamese ship girl hides in the trees. Oh fuck, oh god. Not again.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's an accurate analysis, really.
this is just sounding like Thomas the Tank Engine, but sexy. Well, it's funny you say that, because the story that this guy used to justify... the story that this author used to justify having tugboats be men is a story created by the creators of Thomas the Tank Engine called Tugs, where they have a bunch of manly tugboats working in a dock.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just kind of assuming, because... Oh.
Well, we're not really assuming, because he referenced a city that only exists in tugs, and he's using tugboats which only exist in tugs, and he's...
Well, no,
I
I mean them being manly. This is
Well, I mean,
1989 Britain.
that's
We-
literally
this
how
could
he
be
described them.
Yeah.
Literally how he described them, though. Like,
Yeah.
strong, manly. Yeah.
A
So,
bunch of boys down the
yeah.
docks tugging. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Vietnamese ship girls get a weird shiver up her spine whenever she hears a bomber. Yeah, probably. Another thing would be if we're gonna equate the hides in the trees speaks Vietnamese to the Vietnamese ship girls, wouldn't it be hides in the waves? They get often mistaken for submarines. The waves speak Vietnamese.
Well, no, it would be
Oh, fuck.
hides in the mist.
Or, well, I mean, in Vietnam, there's a lot of, like, marine trees, or, like, trees right in the waterline.
Hides in the seaweed. The seaweed speaks Vietnamese.
Oh fuck, oh god. Yeah, but like, like mangrove forest. I think you have that down in like Florida.
What the fuck is this? Arpeggio of blue steel.
Yeah, that's also a thing.
Fair enough.
It's like Contempt,
I actually,
but more
I
on
actually
crack.
watched Blue Steel. I thought it was okay.
Yeah. I think Elaine and Hunter read the manga. They post about it occasionally. My server.
So anyway, let's see. Let's just keep going through here and see what kind of whack ass characters this guy makes. Blah 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 blah. Boomer. Blah blah blah. Liverpool. Carnated as a tugboat. Memory loss. Boomer's owner puts him up for sale to be scrapped. Wow. Yeah, really fighting against that fucking slavery there. Yeah, just.
Yeah, there's no ethical issues here at all.
Yeah, there's no ethical issues here at all. No. Oh my god, underplayed. Ocean-going tugboat. Hercules, releasing at Belfast, blah blah blah. Hercules sold to the Starfleet, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Convoy was attacked by U-boat. Oh yes. While escorting supply ships into a port, the convoy was attacked in the port by multiple U-boats. Ah yes. didn't we just bring this up earlier?
Yeah, we just a moment ago. Yeah, that makes zero fucking sense. And I think any German U-boat captain who even suggested attacking enemy ships in port would be shot on sight.
And it was just something that you weren't like. That's just an extremely stupid tactical decision. Anyway,
It's suicide. It's quite literally suicide.
Yeah, yeah. It's built in the mid-19th century. Plymouth Harbor tug replaced by screw-powered tugs. Blah 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 blah. Reincarnated. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Supervising the other tugs. Yeah. So, but nothing else really big going on here. Just a really long list of like literally an entire cast, like an entire main fucking cast. This guy is made of just manly tugboats.
I think that speaks volumes about what type of character this author prefers.
Yeah.
He likes himself some manly tugboats.
Yeah, he wants some manly tugboats in his life. Let's see if I can do. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna put this in the covered fix and never speak of this again.
thank you. I don't know why you decided to bring it up in the first place. I'll be honest with you.
Because fuck you. Let's see.
So shared
Let's
suffering, got it.
assume it's his intense self-loathing.
Ah, here we go. It's another cringe ass story for y'all.
Oh lord.
Okay. So the how else are you gonna have a tragic backstory with your checks notes reincarnated tugboat boy British stereotype? That's fair. I would pay to see a series about North Korean ship girls. Well, that would imply that North Korean has an army in the ship, and
Well, they have ships.
Navy.
They're just
I'm pretty sure they're just rowboats painted silver.
Well, I mean, let's consider the fact that a North Korean submarine got captured and sunk by South Korean fishing nets.
Yeah.
That's just North Korean
thing.
engineering for you.
Was it a barrel with a window drilled into it?
Yes, actually. So this is a Fate Stay
much.
Night Overlord story.
All right, already don't have very much.
Oh wait.
Immediately I see a misplaced
By the
apostrophe.
Yugoslavs.
I have so much bad news for you, Thorns. It only gets worse from here. This is the absolute state of modern fan fiction. It does
We go
not
down.
get better. It
It
does
do
not
go
get
down.
better.
Yeah.
It do go down.
Underplayed gets reincarnated into ship girl. Damn it! I wanted to be a spaceship. Oh, so speaking of, so this is a story that I didn't put on the list because of how dumb it was. It just really there was nothing to talk about with it. So it was a Can Cole story talking about Abyss Girls. So Eldritch horrors reborn as ships. For those who are unaware. Thanks Twitch for telling me I have 0 viewers when I have like 6 people talking in my chat.
Yeah, it says 10 on my screen.
I think Twitch is just fucked in terms of that. You have to look at
Yeah.
analytics after the stream.
We're all ghosts. Yeah, I know. You're all figments of my imagination, apparently. Which, I mean, wouldn't really surprise me with how long I've been drinking and doing this podcast.
Fair enough.
So anyway, as I was saying, Can Cole is the classic good ship girls versus bad ship girls corrupted by eldritch monstrosities bullshit. And so the premise of this story is, but what if humanity made it into space and now they had spaceships? And you're probably saying, well, Sneaky, are you going to say there's abyssal spaceship girls now? No, I'm not.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
The premise of this story is, what if humanity with spaceships had to fight off a second attempt at abyssal sea invasion?
That would be a whole lot easier.
And I'm just sitting here like, why the fuck is this a story? It's what if we had spaceships and the best they had was a battleship
Nuke it from orbit.
in water? Is this a serious question? With the voices of the tugboats that died to track U-boat attacks. Back to
I feel like
Hanyo.
a lot of people just be like, all right, I'm fucking out of here. We'll be back in 20 years once we've developed
That's gold, Thorns.
suborbital
That's gold.
nukes.
Oh god, I wish I had some manner of Reddit pinning that, because that's a fucking gold comment.
Oh lord. Yeah.
So anyway,
Oh god. Sneaky.
the
I checked,
Cosmic Overlord, a Fate Overlord crossover. Overlord is a story about a skeleton taking over the world. But now he has a new friend, which is randomly capitalized, who has joined in on the fun. Cosmos is his name, being the most skilled, most elite player in all of Yggdrasil's history.
Oh my god.
And he ends
Yeah.
up in the same world as his best friend. How will this new world react to being with new innovations and experiments on hand?
yeah,
Yeah. So, you guys can see why this made the shit list.
immediately. Also, I checked the profiles to some of the people who reviewed this thing,
Yeah.
and I found one guy who favorited
6
Everyone's-
chapters, 20K
everyone's
words.
favorite British man.
No. You'll see
Yeah.
that very often, is that people think that 3K words
Wait,
is somehow a chapter.
no way.
And
No
don't get me
way.
wrong. It can be a chapter if you output a chapter every week or something, and it's like, okay, you got the pacing going in real life where people are it's still fresh in their head what just happened in the last scene. But this dude posted it all in one go. Oh,
Fuck.
Blessed with the Hero's Heart updated. Excellent.
Fuck. Oh my
Oh,
god.
goody.
That made my day.
Oh my god. I just found something completely awful.
You know what? You can keep it to yourself. I don't
No,
want to hear
actually,
about it.
fuck you. I don't care. I checked the
Admittedly,
reviews
I'm
and some of the
coming.
profiles,
Mhm.
and I found some guy who favorited not only Lupine and Shadow,
Mhm.
and Curl Around
Fairy Tail Dragon
Precacious, all the other
Slayer.
ones,
Yeah.
but also a certain name I hadn't seen in a long while, the Indominator.
Oh god, that fucking kid toucher? Seriously?
Yeah. He's still.
Admittedly, I'm
It's
coming
still
from
on there.
this novel short story writing view. I've never once made a fanfic. Okay, well, Thorn, you're actually
Yeah,
gonna be on the same.
never do it.
You're gonna be on the same side as me, Thorn. Is that I mostly take the same approach when it comes to fanfics, when it comes to the chapter length, in that I really disparage stories with short chapters of 2K, 1K. I've seen chapters of 100 words. It's bad.
Yeah.
Stories with 2K, 3K words. I usually have really low opinions of them. I do know one author who, back when he was updating every single day/week, He was running around maybe 18K words across all of his stories per week, and that's fine. That works in the environment that it is. But I definitely do agree that chapters should be definitely a lot longer, even if you have an extended update date between them. The chapters that I tend to work on and publish tend to be between 10 to 15K words. Not usually because I'm aiming for that amount, but because I just have like a goal in mind to get to, and then just 32 pages later, I'm like, oh, I'm there now. even if that goal was write an intro.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just posted something I found in the 90
Yeah,
account.
and then there's fucking Vimes who's like, yeah, I'm just gonna casually write 200K words per month. It's like, bro, please. You're crushing us. Pin it here. Yeah, okay, fine, I'll pin it. Okay, it's pinned. Yeah. What the wait. Wait, what the fuck? Wait.
This looks
I just
fake.
No,
yes.
no, this
It's a parody.
okay, good, okay.
It's obviously a parody.
It has to be a parody.
Yeah.
Sneaky, this thing was made in August 2013. That is somebody making fun of Tumblr.
Yeah.
Wildbow, oh man, fucking Christ, man. Wildbow. Well, actually, we do know someone who's a lot like Wildbow. His name's Lupine Horror. He output a story of approximately the same quality as Wildbow.
Oof.
And the same length, too.
I don't know who's that's most insulting towards.
Oh God, it
Lupine or
is the same
Wildbow.
length, isn't it?
Yeah, same
Yeah.
length and produced in about the same time. Well, I mean, okay, so if you don't count the first arc, so like the first bits of Worm were actually produced years before it got super popular. But then, like, once it got popular, Wildbow came back and like went into a posting frenzy
Yeah.
for it.
Money.
I wonder if that's why the first part starts rough, gets really good, then it does seem to kind of drop a little bit by little bit by little bit
Yeah.
going forward.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm remembering back in like 2013 when I first read the first bits of Worm alongside another story that the author was talking to, but they decided to not integrate their stories together, which is the Tales of Psycho Gecko, which is a incredibly obscure story that I don't think anyone's ever heard of.
Oh god. Thorns actually likes Worm.
To be fair, Worm's fantastic. It just happens to be 60% longer than the entire Harry Potter series. How does Lupine pander to LGBT stuff? Dude, he literally has, like, bisexual everyone in there. Harry is trans. Like...
Well, not quite, but kinda. Yeah.
Worm, I have mixed opinions about Worm. I think from a purely objective point of view, it's a good story. I honestly do think Worm is a good story. But it's one of the sort of things that I also look at stuff like the Starship Troopers movie, and I go, the Starship Troopers movie is a good story. Because if you just look at it, it's like, yeah, this was okay. Yeah, it was good. But if you actually sit there and start thinking about what makes it good, you're just like, I actually don't know any reason why it's good. And that's the same thing.
But it make me go ha ha he he.
Right. And it's sort of the same experience for me with Worm. Is that with Worm, it's just, I like the arcs. I like the general premise of the universe. I think it's a novel take on superpowers. I just don't like how a lot of it was handled, especially early on. A lot of characters held an idiot ball that were just there to specifically justify Taylor's worldview, and obviously the author's own opinion about authority. there was quite a bit where the author kind of lost the plot themselves, and then they did get back on it, and they did have an overarching, arc plot line going on. But if you ever looked at any of their other stories, you can definitely tell that Worm was sort of a below par golf round for them. That's the best example I can give, because it was very much a story that was like, oh wow, you did really good on this course, and then you look at the rest of their history and it's like, oh oh boy, not too great, especially Worm 2. I really am not a big fan of Worm 2. I feel like he spent a little bit too much time in certain Discord servers that aren't a huge fan of me either.
What a surprise.
But enough about Worm. We're here to read about Cosmos.
Yeah, so
Are we?
the first chapter is just a bio.
I'm aware. That means we don't have to read chapter 2.
True.
So
Well,
this is
chapter
Cosmos,
1, technically.
the devourer of galaxies. Yes, somehow in a
The
game.
galaxy's what?
Yeah, the galaxy is possessive for some reason, yeah. But
Yeah.
somehow also in a game about 10 worlds, somehow you get the title Devourer of Galaxies. Don't know how you manage that one, because titles are like an award that developers give out. Like, this is a canon thing in Overlord, is that, like, Touch Me, for example, got the title World Savior, and he got a special class and stuff out of it, because he did some, big, first in the world event thing. And Ulfric, whatever the fuck his name is, the demon guy, he got World Destroyer as a title because he did some other crazy outlandish thing that really set the stone of like how a class was built around. And he unlocked a bunch of stuff out of that too. And so I'm not really sure how you would get a title called the Devourer of Galaxies Possessive, or even just plural galaxies, being that there is no galaxies in the game to devour. So that one kind of threw me for a loop. And then he has 2 jobs. So job is effectively how a humanoid race in Overlord levels up, while non-humanoid races have to split their levels between their racial levels. So, going from a lower succubus to a higher succubus to like a succubus queen or something. And you can get special racial benefits out of doing that, versus a normal human character only being able to go from like spearman to spearmaster to, arms master or some shit, right? But while the non-human races can also go down the job route, they get a lot of benefits from being non-human as well, but there's also a bunch of rules in game that are briefly described as to why the majority didn't go non-human. Considering the authors introduces Overlord as a story about a skeleton taking over the world, I don't think he cares that much. I mean, it is an accurate description of what Overlord's premise is post factum of Overlord happening. It's a really bad description of how I would introduce the anime to someone, because it's really not about that at all. So yeah, the author does fundamentally not understand Overlord either, which obvious considering the rest of the shit going on here. But anyway, so yeah, jobs, Beast of the End and one of the Almighty Supreme Beings. So first off, there would be no Beast of the End. I could see as a job if he unlocked something special, killed a boss solo or some shit, fine, whatever. But one of the Almighty Supreme Beings is actually a term derived from the NPCs who watched players create the world. And you only find out about the Supreme Being term after the NPCs become alive and capable of speaking, and then they go, "You're a supreme being," and he goes, "Oh, what do you mean, the other players?" Like, supreme being wasn't a term ever used, so there would at no point be a job called one of the almighty supreme beings. And also at the same time, there would be no point in having a job called one of the almighty supreme beings if everyone's a fucking supreme being who's playing the game.
Yeah.
That'd be like having a job class called game player, and it's like, well, how do I get this job class? Oh, you play the fucking game. Wow!
Amazing. Who could have seen this coming?
So, of course, Cosmos is also obviously a true neutral. As everyone knows, true neutral is the worst alignment possible, because that attracts almost as many people as chaotic neutral, because obviously chaotic neutral is chaotic stupid, and true neutral is I'm smart enough to not be labeled chaotic neutral, but I'm too fucking stupid to actually roleplay as anything besides myself.
I see.
Yeah. Because I'm honestly, at the end of the day, that's what true neutral is. So chaotic neutral is like, they kind of, like an actual chaotic neutral person is like, oh, I want to help this guy, so I'm just gonna go stab this fucking dude, take his money, and give it to the poor, you know, but also I'm gonna leverage that with the poor so they start feeding me information. Because I wanted to fulfill some other objective, you know, in the future. That's what chaotic neutral is at the end of the day. Is you're looking out for yourself, but you're looking out for yourself in a way that completely disregards laws, and you don't really care for authority. True neutral is, I'm just gonna metagame. That's what true neutral is. Is that your character is always gonna make decisions based on what benefits them the most, with the least drawbacks, with metagame knowledge. Effectively. I've never met a good true neutral player, because you can't really have a good true neutral player, because the second they make any sort of decision, they're actually not being neutral anymore, in either direction. And the only reason why they're true neutral is because if you turn around and another event happens, they'll just switch their decision to like maybe even the opposite of what they. So maybe they made a good decision, and then they find out actually all of the hobos have been secretly raping people, and they're like, all right, well, I'm just gonna kill them all then. And then you find out that the rape propaganda was actually perpetrated by the rich. So you're like, I'm gonna fucking go kill the rich now. And then at the end, the whole fucking town's dead, and you're still true neutral because you just kept making decisions based on meta knowledge. So anyway, as of note, also the characters the author lists as characters that are going to be big participants in this story is, of course, Saberface herself, Hassan, and Ainz, which obviously means it's going to be a garbage story, of course. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's on this podcast. Of course it's going to be garbage.
Yeah.
Also, this is another thing here. So, job levels 30. So you have Master of Arms, of all arms, you know, instead of Arms Master, because, you know, all Master of all arms just sounds cooler. Fine, whatever. 5 levels. Grand Beast. I'm not sure how being a beast is a job, but fine, fuck it. It is. Master of Transfiguration. I don't know how that relates to any of your other jobs. So this is the thing. So this is another important part about Overlord, and they do actually explain enough about this. So you really shouldn't be making characters in this series if they don't follow this pathing. A big part of this whole series is that why racial levels versus job levels is so important is you can't get rid of them. Like, if you're a spearman, you have to keep your spearman levels to keep your spear master class, to keep your arms master class, to keep your saintly piercing class, or whatever. Like, you can't just get rid of spearmen after you get the saintly piercer. Like, you have to keep all of those job levels, because they're requirements for each other. And, like, that's why people couldn't just get, like, the end game classes of every fucking class. And why they couldn't just be, you know, Omega Lol, you know, fucking troll stompers and shit. It's like the author, I'll give him credit here, as much as he didn't know about MMOs, I'll give him credit in that he actually did try and at least present the game itself in terms of how classes and races work to be somewhat balanced. And it's like never even mentioned again, so he really didn't even have to make the effort, but he did. And if you're calling yourself a fan of this fucking series, if the author can make the fucking effort to at least put 2 seconds into trying to be balanced, you can too. As a fan of the series.
Yeah.
But what really gets to me here is, so 15 levels here, right? 15 levels here. Another 10 levels here. So what we have left is 5 levels. 5 levels, and he just lists it as other. For no fucking reason.
What the fuck is other supposed to be? Like,
Everything else, apparently, or something. I don't fucking know. Considering the author introduces over... Okay, I already said that. I thought you said something else. Okay. So yeah, anyway. Racial levels. Beast of the End. Galactic Beast. Chimeric Overlord. Phantasmal Beast. Primordial. Alien God. So this is other. Other. Again, other. So, but this is what I'm talking about here is these aren't like... These are sort of in line where it's like Primordial to Primordial Beast. Sorry, Phantasmal Beast to Chimera Overlord. Fine, fine. Galactic Beast, that's a little bit weird, but okay, fine. Beast again, okay, fine. Like, okay, yeah, fine. They kind of go in order, but then for some reason it's just right at the bottom as a starter is Alien God. And then it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, we only covered, 20... 30. We only covered 40 levels here, but there's 30 other levels that you guys don't need to know about. But they're there, trust me, and they make sense.
Yes, of course.
Definitely.
And then here's the other thing. So, stats don't exist, as far as we're aware. Like, they exist in Overlord, but we don't know what they are, and the author never really mentions them besides, like, oh, he must have a high magic defense, or because of my high magic
like
attack.
the most we know about it
Yeah.
is, right, like a
It's
10-level gap, very difficult to surmount.
Yeah. It's
Like,
more of a
yeah.
soft stat system in the sense that
Yeah, like,
basically
it's
a
barely
yeah,
mentioned.
it's barely ever mentioned. It pretty much doesn't come up, especially like past Volume 3. But like, there's nothing really ever given to stats. But there's also no reason to tell us what stats are.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to tell us what someone's stats are. Also, I find it hilariously adorable that this guy thinks a VR MMO in Japan would have a max cap of stats at 100. That's
Yeah.
precious. These are all just fate things. Well, just a few of them. I'm sure. Look. Okay, so I'm sure the classes and racial levels and all that stuff, I'm sure they're all a bunch of fate references and crap. That doesn't matter to me. It's already dumb. I already know the author's fucking retarded because they can't fucking piece together any fucking thing besides, like, look how OP my fucking character is. Look how amazing it is. I'm gonna fucking post an entire fucking chapter of a biography page on how amazing my character is. Obviously, they're goddamn dumb and they're just merging a bunch of shit just because they can. No duh. Ah, yeah, I see you banned another bot. Thank you.
good job.
Anyway, author's note: the stats that Cosmo has can be changed at will.
What? You fucking what?
Or by a form he had.
Up to
Then why does he need the form if he could just-
1,000.
Why
So,
does he need the
for
form to change it if he
example-
could just do it anyways?
For example, if he needs to have 110% in every stat, he can. Why wouldn't you normally?
But
If if
wait,
you have the
no,
ability to
that's
just have 110% in every stat, why wouldn't you?
yeah. In fact, why not just crank
Yeah.
those up to like? Okay, maybe you don't want physical attack and magic attack being too high because you might accidentally blast someone to pieces that you didn't want to blast.
Right.
There's no reason not to run around with defenses at 1,000 at all points and health and
Right.
mana.
Yeah, especially in Overlord, where if you die, you lose 5 levels, which can, in some cases, can be an entire fucking class.
Well, as we see with this guy, like, that might be all his beast levels gone.
Yeah. Cosmos is an alien from another universe.
Hmm?
Yeah, the developers totally put that into the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Now trapped in the world of Yggdrasil, he amassed power beyond human comprehension. He has been training for many years, and so this is the other thing. So if this is taken ironically as this is a sort of description page that the player added to his character profile, and this is supposed to be his RP backstory sort of thing, it's cringe anyway, right? But if this is supposed to be taken seriously, he's actually an alien that somehow got trapped in a human VR game, it's even actually worse than that. It's worse than cringe, because now, for some reason, an alien was trapped in a fucking game made of binary. I don't... and then for some reason the author is like, yeah, so this alien that got trapped in binary amassed a bunch of power in binary, and that for some reason makes him a god and not binary. It's like, what? So
Naughty
either
the
way,
fuck?
either this is cringe as all hell because this is some fucking roleplay character bio made by a 6-year-old, or it's actually quote-unquote real according to canon of this story, and therefore it's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Despite not being able to speak the language, he can defeat literally anyone. Because he's from another world, he was able to create 7 grand servants to be perfectly loyal to his existence. He was also able to create the 10 beasts of humanity, representing every sin. Wait, there's no fucking 10 sins. Wait,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Author?
What?
Nani?
They are beasts of the world, rivaling world enemies. So world enemies is basically a boss that an entire guild of over 100 people would have to fight to win.
Mhm.
So the author is saying that this one single player was capable of creating NPCs that were the equivalent of a developer-made world boss.
Yeah.
Wait, so 3 beasts apparently died. Just... There was 10 and now there's only
Yeah.
7.
Hmm.
So 7 Grand Class and 7 Beasts are said to be the counters for each other if any of them ever got out of line. As the master of both, Cosmos has seen the hope of the universe and the sins of the universe. As a true neutral balancing force, he joins the guild of player killers to find his purpose in the world.
Yes, I'm gonna quit murder to find my purpose. Bruh.
Okay, so we got lore and we got bio. So basically, lore was what I said. It's some fucking 6-year-old's headcanon of what their character is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bio. Cosmos is one of the original players. Playing since Yggdrasil started, despite how his character looked, he gained the title of strongest player. Strongest player is Touch Me. That's canon.
Canon.
That's why he has world champion.
Yeah. He is chosen to make a custom race for himself by winning a tournament. This is the first time in history that a heteromorph won multiple championships in a row.
False.
After words were said, he reset his level and renamed himself Cosmos. Rising once again, Cosmos joins the guild of Ein's Own Gaun. During his time playing, he created 14 totally broken NPCs made with secret techniques and premium materials, and became
That's
a
not how that
legend among the
works.
fan base.
It's 100% not how that works.
That's not how that works at all, no. Despite being a tryhard in Yggdrasil, Cosmos is quiet, never speaking. Enough to the point where people thought he was mute.
Not how that works.
Some players even rumored that it was one of the 7 mysteries of Yggdrasil. Maybe ironically, but no. He loves the female creations that his guild created, but in a platonic and friendly way. So, he actively talks to all of the NPCs and interacts with them as much as possible because he views them as relationships that he could never have with real women. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, I think we figured out what the author is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sad shut-in weeb.
A little bit worse than that. A simp.
Indeed.
Truly
Non-human.
reprehensible. Indeed.
Despite never speaking, he always shows emotions via the chat log.
Bruh.
Bro. Also, if he somehow managed to gain great power through the day, like he couldn't figure out how to speak.
No, it's not that he couldn't figure it out. He says that he never spoke.
List.
And the pop of a new bottle of alcohol opening? Yeah, well, that's just, Unlike this
Just
author,
healthy.
I actually had a girlfriend once upon a time.
Yeah.
And look at how that ended.
She's trans now.
To be fair, every woman Sneaky's dated
Yeah.
has either gone to bat for the other team.
No, she's still into guys as far as I'm aware. Anyway, some members tried to get him to speak via messaging, but every attempt failed. Though he confirmed that he was in fact male.
Well, that's not failure then, is it?
Indeed.
As one of the top players in Yggdrasil, he won many, many, many championships. In fact, he won so many championships, he was known as the championship winner. And
Damn,
literally everyone idolized him. He was so popular that even human players idolized him.
But what about the guy known as the strongest, the literal strongest?
No, not he wasn't. He was stronger than him.
Of course.
I see.
And
Naturally.
all of his NPCs were a constant topic of discussion, as many people thought they were the perfect NPCs.
Hmm.
Though Cosmos is very competitive, he's also extremely compassionate and supportive, and sometimes lazy. Most people interact with him realize that he's also very sarcastic and will always downplay things. Oh yes, he's so competitive that he is the #1 player in the world, but he's also very lazy. I see. Checks out. Alright, and for the wrap up the night, let's go... Wait, what the fuck's this one? Oh, this is an Overlord story. What's this one? Also an Overlord story. What's this one? Also an Overlord story. Damn. Alright,
You'll find something different one day.
let's go with this one then. A My Hero Academia story.
Oh boy.
A Soldier's Tale. A My Hero Academia story. Why did they call you the Angel of Death? Because the name Devil was already taken by a German war goddess. The title was taken by God. And
We've
a
read
general...
this, haven't we?
No,
We've read this. I
no.
recognize this stupid intro.
No, March
Oh,
7th. We've never read this.
Let's.
Oh, that's because Andros linked it
Yeah.
somewhere.
Oh yeah. And Andros linked it and posted the summary
Yeah, we never read this.
back in March. Yeah.
So they gave me the name Angel, Izuku told his friend sardonically. If I'm being honest, I wish they didn't name me. You have no idea the blood a soldier needs to spill to be a named soldier. What? Hold on.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I hate.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But didn't people typically get titles like long after the shit went down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. His superiors often told him that he was born in the wrong era, that he should have been born during the World Wars. His superiors
yes.
even went
Hey,
as
kid,
far to
You want to
say
die on the front line?
that if he was born during World War II, Japan wouldn't have lost.
Okay, no,
Press
it's not.
X to doubt.
Banzai? Wait, is this Tojo? Written by Tojo?
I'm just, yeah, they would have lost.
Yeah. One man cannot make the difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, correction. One man can make a pretty big difference, as we saw with that captain who, chilled out in a burning tank, firing a machine gun and killing like 75 people. And,
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a difference, but it's not a war-winning difference.
Not a war-changing difference, of course, yeah, but like at the same time, like that might have been able to change the front. That might have been like been able to do morale damage and shit like that, and all that other fun stuff.
A bit.
But it really doesn't matter on an island
Too small of a scale.
When your island can be bombed. Like it's one thing if it's on a fucking continent and you're progressing through the continent. It's like okay, yeah, fine. But you're on an island, and the island can be bombed out of existence. One soldier isn't going to change anything.
Yeah, Sneaky, that's actually kind of funny, because I just saw a video about this the other day.
Yeah.
But the Japanese held out some insane bombardments on some of those islands until the US started using airburst shells.
Yeah.
Because instead of the shell hitting the ground and spraying all the shrapnel upwards, and not like missing the people in the trenches, they would detonate a few meters above the ground and shred everything.
Yeah.
And after those were put into use, those islands surrendered fairly quickly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even then, like the thing is, though, is that even you don't have to kill the people on the island. If you bomb the airfield into non-existence and you bomb the ports into non-existence and you prevent resources from making it in to repair those, it doesn't matter how many men are on the island anymore. The island is non-functional.
Also true.
And you can just be like, all right, well, that's what we did in the end, is when we got closer to Japan, we said, fuck taking the islands, and we started bombing the islands until they no longer posed a martial threat to us, and then we moved on. It doesn't matter how many fucking people are left on there. It's not like they can do shit to us anyway anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the downside of living on islands, it's like, if your island gets fucking flattened, what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, you're still alive. Congratulations. How are you gonna leave?
Yeah, what are you gonna do, retard? You can't unbomb the island.
Go ahead. You can't unbomb the island. He would always hide his irritation and anger every time he heard those compliments. I don't know, man. It sounds less like compliments and more like, man, we really wished you weren't our problem, and we wished you also died.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be a soldier. True, he loved being a soldier. He loved every single one of his brothers in arms and sister in arms. He even developed pride and affection for the Japanese army. But he was not a patriot. He would not claim that he hated his country. He would not have survived 4 years in the military if he hated the country he swore to protect. Oh, wow, Author, I got some news for you. Oh, yeah. Boy, I got some fucking news for you, Author. That being said, he did not love his country. He experienced 10 years of ridicule for the first 15 years of his life. Yeah, okay, I guess we're just gonna paint an entire country by the actions of 4 individuals, okay?
I mean, it do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I suppose. It's not his fault that his quirk was triggered by death. That was a can of worms he didn't want to open. If there was one thing that sold him to the military life, it was the Japanese army was a meritocracy. There were several high-ranking officers that were quirkless. He could have been one of them if he did not die in his 5th deployment in Russia fighting communists.
I mean...
What?
A base death,
what?
I guess.
Oh, wait, what? Why is
I have
Japan...
several questions.
Wait. So in the year 2200,000, or whatever, 22,000, yeah, 22,000, right? No. 2200? Yeah, 2200. In the year 2200, communists have apparently retaken Russia and are at war with Japan. All right.
Yes. Of course.
Fucking commies. Secondly, he hated the talent he was born with as a child, as an adolescent, and even as a young adult. He dreamt of saving people. He dreamt of giving people assurance that they will not be harmed. That his dream of inspiring smiles to those who needed it. Unfortunately, although he could do all of those things, and had done all of those things, his primary talent lies in murder. Ah, murder, the oldest human profession that will never be removed. Because as long as there is two people on the planet, someone will want someone else dead.
True.
It's guys, it's not a
See
mental
one another.
sickness. It's just a fucking.
Right. It's not a mental
It's a-
sickness, mother. It's a profession. He was very, 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 very good at killing people. He hated this talent of his. He didn't want to harm people. He didn't want to kill people. So this is the other thing, is that even My Hero Academia did in fact touch on this at one point, but not too much. A lot of the fan fiction went into this a lot more. Is the quirks change your mental processes so you use them. Yeah, it's just really weird thing that if you're like born with 3 arms, you'll want to use all 3 arms, and you won't look at your third arm being like, oh man, I hate having a third arm. Like you won't, you'll still use the third arm. You'll just be like, yeah, this is what you do. You use your third arm to do stuff. Like that's how the quirk changes your brain. Which actually, I'll give kudos to the author for this one. That's a very good way of handling it, because it really skips over the whole issue of this person has a tail. How do they know how to use a tail? Who teaches them how to use a tail? Oh, it's natural instinct. It's like, oh, okay. And they also don't think anything's weird about having a tail or using a tail. In fact, they think other people are weird for maybe not having a tail because of how useful it is. You know, that sort of thing. And it's like, oh yeah, well, my power is the power to explode shit. And so in your brain, you just have no real importance on not using explosions to solve problems, because you explode. Why wouldn't you use explosions to solve problems? Like, that makes sense in terms of inborn power mutation. You know, not knocking X-Men, but I'm knocking X-Men. And I always really hate these My Hero Academia stories that really make Izuku this brooding piece of shit where he's like hating whatever power he's born with. Not because of like how society treated him because of it. He's just like, oh, I just don't want to kill people even though my power is to kill people. It's like, no, if your power was somehow like the ability to kill people by looking in their eyes or some shit, your mind wouldn't be able to comprehend not doing that. That's like, I don't know, a fucking bear, you know, being born without the will to smack fish out of the water to eat them. I mean, that's a fairly large part of their diet, because they're not too great at chasing down prey through a heavily wooded interface. I mean, they can, especially some bears with the smaller ones, but you know, grizzlies mostly gorge themselves on slower prey and, you know, fish and whatnot. You know, it's just like, it's like, oh, this fucking dog was born without the instinct to bite anything. In fact, it had an aversion to using its mouth at all. It's like, that wouldn't make fucking sense. That just sounds dumb.
Yeah.
And that's the exact same way where it's like, oh yeah, this person, they were born with the power to shoot lasers from their fingers. And they actually hate shooting lasers from their fingers. Not because of like, you know, retrospective introspection, where like they shoot a bunch of lasers from their fingers and then something they like is destroyed or something. And then they're like, oh man, I actually don't like shooting lasers from my fingers. The stuff I like keeps getting destroyed. Like, that's one thing. But it's like, I hate shooting lasers from my fingers because I don't like it. Like, no. No. Get the fuck out of here with your edgy angst bullshit.
True.
At the end of the day, soldiers are legal killers, and he was born for it. He never wanted to be a soldier. But when he was at his lowest, the military opened the doors to him. He joined out of necessity. He'd be damned if he would abandon the organization that gave him a chance, even if he hated his work, and boy did he hate his work. Lieutenant Midoriya, Colonel Momo is calling for you.
Certified bro moment.
Yeah. Bang, 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 bang. The sounds of gunfire echoed within the enclosed space. The roar of gunfire reverberated within the ears of those within the vicinity. Actually, it wouldn't. If you're firing a gun inside enclosed space, pretty much everyone involved in that encounter, besides maybe the people you're shooting at, are wearing ear protection. In fact, as a soldier, you normally wear ear protection. So
if you don't, you'd be deaf.
yeah, so if you're in a firing range inside a building and you don't have hearing protection on, you're gonna find your ass, cleaning latrines or kicked out of the firing range real fucking quick, depending on, military or civilian.
You're also gonna find yourself going deaf.
Yeah. You're also gonna find yourself going deaf.
Can you say tinnitus, Diego?
With each flash of gunfire, bodies fell to the ground, life leaving their eyes. Bang, 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 thud, 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 thud. Yeah, because bodies make that thud sound whenever they hit the ground.
Wait, Sneaky, are you saying we shouldn't let the bodies hit the floor?
All I'm saying is the bodies are hitting the floor in a very rapid fashion. So that's the other thing, is that the whole bang, 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 this is why I really hate adding onomatopoeias, especially ones that are like bolded, italicized, or etc. to a story. Now, in the unpublished chapter that Max and I made, I did in fact make use of onomatopoeias like bang and whatnot, but it was singular bangs, and it was also from the fact that a giant golem, the 40 feet tall, was punching a building in, and it was also very slow about it, so it was, like, boom.
Yeah, any chance we can just scrap that chapter, by the way? I've been meaning to ask that for a while.
It's certainly possible. We can scrap the golem bit, honestly. I'm not gonna.
I shouldn't have made mention. It looks like a giant dragon.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna get around to writing. I'm not gonna get around. Like, if we take the golem out, I'm still not gonna write it.
The golem was literally.
At least he's honest.
Yeah. The golem was preventing me from writing the story at that point in time. Now, in this current day and age, there's like no point in going back to the story. The whole series is dead.
Wait, what series?
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
The fandom for it is dead. Any interest in the story is dead. We're not as passionate about Dark Souls anymore anyway. Barely passionate, actually. When was the last time you played Dark Souls, Max? When I forced you to, like 2 years ago?
Oh, I did a full run of the series without, and he didn't force me to play it. Nosehair just fucking ghosted us on a playthrough that was Ruby themed.
For like 6 years. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you fucking dipshit. You know what you did. So anyway, point being is...
I didn't. I just stopped playing, and then just didn't.
We
No one
know.
wanted, and then I was just like,
Yeah, we know. So
No,
anyway,
we wanted to play. You just stopped.
Yeah.
yeah. I know I stopped.
So don't shift
You don't
the
need to
blame
remind
on
me. I lost interest.
Yeah, don't shift the blame on us that you stopped.
No,
So
no,
point
I
being is
wasn't
that
complaining about
when
that.
I did use onomatopoeias, what I didn't do is I didn't put fucking asterisks into the narrative. I didn't do that.
Nope. They were just italicized, all caps, and they had
Right.
their own paragraph.
Right, exactly, because they were like separate interruptions to a paragraph flow, and they were supposed to act as interruptions to the pacing. And I honestly thought they did a pretty good job at that. But point being is that this whole like italicized bang, 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 thud, 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 bang, 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 thud, 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 thud. It's garbage.
Yeah.
Gunfire is fast. If you want to get across gunfire, you can use words like statical or other the roar, the sound, the rapid fire. Like, you don't have to write out each trigger pull, especially in fucking combat when everyone's shooting a fucking gun. That would be like if I'm writing a fucking Game of Thrones story and every single time someone swung a sword around, you interrupt the paragraph to go swish, swish, swish. That's how fucking dumb you sound when you add bangs for gunfire if it isn't supposed to be emphasized. Like, you're talking to someone, you're having a good time, then bang! And their head explodes. And you're like, oh, shit, what the fuck? Like, that's when a bang is, appropriate and can be used and adds emphasis to what's going on in the story. Literally sitting in a firefight that you are trading shots with the opposite side in, and you decide to include all the fucking onomatopoeia sound effects in there, get the fuck out and get into an actual firefight. Then come back to me and tell me how important those onomatopoeias are.
Sounds about right.
That's a pretty good one, Andros. Andros says, as often as you've been saying bang, I'm waiting for you to finish with pull my devil trigger, because you certainly have this fic has certainly triggered Sneaky Devil.
Yeah.
Haha, haha, ho ho.
Fair enough.
Hee.
Fair enough. Yeah, you got me. You got me. In the center of gunfire and death was just Izuku, just standing out there in the center of the hallway, just advancing, shooting his gun.
As he does.
Yeah, just as you do. He was a sharpshooter for a reason. That's why he wasn't given a long range rifle of the DMR or designated marksman or sharpshooter as a sniper variety. Usually people that do get designated marksman or sharpshooter certifications, because that's a thing. That's actually a thing. It's a whole deployment package that people actually get. They're not typically deployed to in fucking house clearing.
Sure they are.
They are now.
They are now. The hostiles tried to fight back. They used weapons like guns to do so.
Amazing.
Damn, I thought they would use like their dicks.
Look, man, all I'm saying is if you have like some sort of weird ass quirk where your quirk makes your sperm like fire out of your gun like an RPG or something.
Explosive cum.
Right, it could happen.
I mean, yeah, theoretically. Nitroglycerin cum.
Some were even using their quirks, superpowers given to them by God.
Please never say that again, by
I
the
don't
way,
think
Arn.
that's how it works. Yeah, fuck you.
They all tried to kill Izuku. All of them failed because Izuku was too good at killing people. Before their quirks could activate, they were gunned down. Before their gunfire could fire, they were gunned down. As a soldier, Izuku was very good. As a killer, he was terrifying.
Before their gunfire could fire.
The gunfight lasted 7 minutes long. That's how long it took for
What?
Izuku to kill 20 people.
That's
Izuku's
long
slow.
Izuku's
gunfight,
that's a fucking garbage gun. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
Fucking hell.
Step up the pace.
7 minutes
on,
for
dude.
20 people? Really, bro?
We don't have all day. Come on, bro.
7 minutes for 20 people. Jesus fuck,
And
dude.
Izuku did all of this without using his quirk.
Oh, amazing.
Big
That's
deal.
supposed to be impressive or something?
Izuku stood out in the open and shot 20 people in an enclosed space for 7 minutes and didn't
Wait,
get
he
hit
was out in the
once.
open.
Yes.
He didn't get hit once.
Yeah. He was advancing down a hallway out in the
Well,
open.
you see, he outsped their
Slowly.
gunfire.
Yeah, he out gunfired their gunfire.
Clearly, he's working with
okay,
that.
guys. Clearly,
Yeah.
every time he was in danger,
Yeah.
he just shot their bullets.
Oh,
True.
you know
True.
what? I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
He must have just done that. Yeah, he shot the bullets.
It just works.
It would have been faster if he used his quirk, but Izuku didn't like using his quirk. He spent his first year being an excellent soldier, and he saw no reason to stop being an excellent soldier. What? So an excellent soldier takes a whole house? Okay. I want to say so an excellent soldier takes a whole house on his own against a bunch of local gunmen, but we actually do have a story section. So enough about this garbage ass person, right? So for the last 8 minutes, I'm gonna tell you guys about a very cool dude.
Oh shit.
So we're gonna
Interesting.
ignore my background.
No, don't. It's great. Wrong version though.
I can't
Should be like-
I can't post the other one. It's illegal.
Why not? The Coco version?
Yeah.
Wait, why would that be more illegal?
Because that's getting HoloLive involved, and we all know how retarded they are when it comes to using any HoloLive visuals.
I don't think that's how this works, but alright.
You never know. But anyway, so as I'm saying, so this guy, so during the Battle of Fallujah, which I'm sure some of you have probably heard about,
Of course.
the rest of you, besides Arn, any acknowledgements?
Pretend to
Filipino?
care.
Only when it came up when a guy wanted to do a story, a game about it.
Okay. So Battle of Fallujah.
I know it wasn't good.
Yeah, no, it was terrible.
But,
So Afghan city, and the
Was it in Iraq?
or whatever, it's some Middle Eastern city.
Yeah.
You act like they're actual fucking countries over there.
Well, you know, gotta keep up the illusion.
Yeah. So anyway, so it was a city in the Middle East, and the U.S. Marines were tasked with taking the city. And what it really turned into is what taking a city entails. Having to clear every single house, one by one, in a
Every
city.
single alcove, make sure nothing
Yeah,
can happen.
and so obviously it was a shit show. So, There was a case of this one sergeant of a squad who came under fire at one point by a group of insurgents in a house. And they originally pushed them back into the house, and his squad advanced into the house. Except inside the house, they had set up a machine gun emplacement with an RPK, and started unloading on them. And he got separated from his most of his squad, and his squad were taking fire, and a lot of them got hit. And no deaths yet. And so he ends up peeking around the corner. He sees the RPK. He sees another guy with an AK firing at his squad. And so he tells the squad assault weapon guy to hand the saw over to him, and that when he creates the distraction, the rest of the squad is to blitz out of the building and get out of the line of fire. And his idea of distraction was sprinting around the corner with the trigger on the saw depressed and just hip firing the entire belt-fed magazine
Yep.
at a machine gun emplacement. And
That
it worked.
doesn't sound good for the back, but all right, you do you.
And it worked. And at one point, this guy comes out with an RPG. He gets shot to hell as well. And so the sergeant's like, well, fuck, this worked way better than I thought it would. I thought I was gonna die. I'm just gonna clear the rest of the house now. And proceeds to clear the rest of the house with this fucking saw hip fire. He gets to the second floor, and there is only fucking explosives. Just like a shit ton of nitroglycerin based explosives and chemical reaction based explosives just on this second floor. Like, oh, there was barrels of it. And he's like, oh shit.
Okay then.
Still manages to kill the two people up there on the second floor. And as he's, sweeping around the rest of the rooms, the fifth guy, the sixth guy drops down from the roof and tries to kill him, and he proceeds to beat him to death. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
Yeah.
Let me just solo this house filled with fucking red barrels. With a gun.
It just works.
So, as much as I make fun of for Izuku advancing slowly down the hallway, firing at people, it's still incredibly dumb. Like, don't get it twisted. It's still fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But it has worked before. But I highly doubt the author even knows what the Battle of Fallujah even is. So, being that he was like, oh, it took 7 minutes for him to kill 20 people.
It's like a particularly slow day at the park.
I just think the author was kind of just like throwing out numbers at that point and didn't really even know how long firefights typically last, let alone what's a good time, quote unquote, to end them. Especially a quote unquote good time to end a firefight alone.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Sneaky, just go ahead and Google it. It's not like it'll get you put on any lists.
It's already on like
I'm already
6
on
different
all
lists.
lists. There's no way Googling how long
Exactly.
does a firefight take. But anyway, so that's my little story. We're gonna wrap up tonight. Right on time, right on the 9 o'clock mark.
Amazing.
But never let evil take root. But we'll be back on Friday. So today's Friday. We'll be back on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess it's daylight time now, EDT, whatever the fuck this shit works. I don't know anymore. But whatever. We will
Time.
be back on
cares?
Tuesday because there is always more, and it does always get worse.